regarding the,
Back to your agenda.
right, I don't have anything to report this time. Chief, Casey, do you have anything?
No report for today.
John?
No report.
Lisa?
Nothing, that's not on the agenda.
Do you have any council comments?
None, from me. No,
No comments?
just happy to be back.
Glad to have you back, actually. Okay. You had citizen comment?
Joe Beaver, 431 Linda. I've got a commentary on one of the agenda items tonight, code 1204010. The ordinance for this code was written in 1916, when Goldbar had wooden sidewalks. The sidewalks likely needed repair every 2 years, or wood, it rains a lot here. And repairs were simple, and today the sidewalks we have are concrete, subject to construction standards, and repairs are not as simple as nailing on a new board. So two things indicate that this code needs to be deleted or highly modified in my opinion. First, sidewalks along arterials are used by many residents, but this ordinance says they are to be maintained and repaired by just a few residents. Sidewalk on Lewis Avenue is a prime example of this. The property owners on the north side are expected to maintain and repair this sidewalk, while property owners on the south side are not. Thus, the south side property owners and many other residents get free use of something maintained and repaired by a few other residents who may not use the sidewalk hardly at all. Closed subdivisions such as Prospector Drive have more justification for sidewalk maintenance and repair, as other users are rare. However, sidewalks within that subdivision offer little mobility advantage over having no sidewalks, such as Verlindy. Sidewalks are a city requirement in public right of way. I don't have sidewalks where I live, so this ordinance doesn't affect me one way or the other. Second, having each property owner responsible for the repair without very specific rules of construction and enforcement would likely lead to a variety of repairs, coal patch, epoxy patch, sacrete patch, with no clear method of quality control. And enforcement of the code and making sure things got done right might be cost as much as just repairing it yourself. Now, examples of past sidewalk repairs over the last few years were breaking the sidewalk along May Creek due to a poor quality closure by a utility company, and a replacement of a portion of the sidewalk on Lewis Avenue due to a water line break. Neither of those repairs were due to routine wear and tear or the abutting property owner's action or negligence. But the city made both repairs, yet the code says the property owner should have done this. So anyway, I think public infrastructure should be maintained, repaired by the public entity to ensure quality, continuity, and longevity in those structures. And subcontracting this to possibly unqualified residents is not a good idea. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Okay, there is no old business. New business, we have the pending litigation settlement offer. No legal response attached to it. Can I get a motion for,
I'll move that we reject the settlement offer, or decline the settlement offer at this time.
can I get a second?
Second?
I would actually,
Do we have, does anyone wish to discuss the motion before the council?
you asked it for the council to discuss or for the citizens?
So,
Okay, I would have moved to reject it on the basis that I don't think we're not in a position to spend that kind of money. And I would like to see the motion amended to that effect. say that the reason we're rejecting it is because we don't have the funds to.
I don't believe we,
I don't think it's
Either-
necessary.
Doesn't make much difference, does it?
No, we just say yes or no,
Hmm.
we accept or reject.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, we don't have the money, I agree, but,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of reasons for accept or reject, and I move that we reject this offer or decline.
Yeah, I think rejecting is, I think better just to reject it, not give any reasons, just to, we don't want it.
Because if you don't have the funding, it looks like if you had the funding, you'd do it.
maybe,
And I would have
but
difficulty with that position.
it's still, we have to accept and reject what's before us right now. Or abstain from vote, you have that option as well. Okay. All in favor of rejecting this one, settlement offer?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay. Rejecting, the motion to reject is carried. Ordinance 653. We've done the first and second reading.
This ordinance is up for action tonight. The council could choose, based on public comment that we received earlier, to table acting on it until they've had a chance to think about citizen comments and if they want to make any changes to the ordinance. Or you can choose to go ahead and act on it tonight.
I move that we table any action on ordinance 653.
I'll
Table
second.
or postpone? Postpone is just waiting and getting the changes in,
Okay, then postpone it.
right?
Amend my
I
motion.
usually think of table as postponing, but you could use either word. You could table it until next month, you could postpone it until next month, you could, however. you want to phrase it.
It's semantics, but if you want to say postpone, we can say postpone.
Why are we postponing it? What's
To
the?
consider a citizen
Well,
comment
Uh,
that
We
Joe
have
just
citizen
made.
comment, so we have to consider that.
We have a motion on the table.
Oh, okay.
Was there a second?
Yes, there was a second, I second that.
And we will,
So no discussion.
do we have any further discussion on this? Okay, all in favor of postponing?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Six 54. Can I get a motion to do the final action? Approve?
I so move that we accept, this ordinance 1654 for final reading and for acceptance, right?
Second.
For final acceptance.
I'll second the motion.
Does anyone want to discuss ordinance 654? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion is carried. 655. Administration of Development Regulations. We have had the first and second reading. This is the motion for approval? For an action?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 655, Title 19, Administration of Development Regulations and Action.
Can I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
Anyone wish to discuss the motion before the council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstain? Motion carried. We have 656 as the Shoreline Master Program, the second reading and action.
Can we scroll down and see, well, I wanna know if we put the dates in. For the letter from the DOE.
Judy?
Scroll down a little bit further, right there. Is that where it was? It was.
Dated January 10th, right?
January 10th, is that the one?
Yes, that's it, perfect. I move that we accept for final approval, ordinance 656 Shoreline Master Program.
I'll second the motion.
I think that should say as with amendments suggested by the Department of Ecology. And Mr.
Was on, I think.
Okay, Mr. Pater
Pater.
from the Department of Ecology is in the audience in case we have.
Yeah, if you have any questions about the changes or the process or anything, that's what I'm here tonight for.
Can you explain to them what happens after they either approve or deny this?
Well, if you approve it, what happens is we would like to get a letter from the mayor saying the city of Gold Bar approves the Shoreline Master Program and the conditional changes that were outlined in the January 10th letter. Send that to our director, Maya Bellin. And when she receives it, we'll prepare a final approval letter or a final action letter that'll go back to the mayor. And your SMP will become effective 2 weeks from the date of that letter. And then there's a 60-day Growth Management Act appeal period that I'll be taking care of putting it in the local paper, just a legal notice. And but the SMP will become effective though, regardless of that appeal period, 14 days from the date of the final approval letter. If you reject it, and then it gets complicated, there is an in-between. There's, if there's some alternatives or some of the changes that you want to tweak the language, there's a process for that still gets you to eventual approval, but it's more of a negotiation depending on how much you want to tweak that language. Rejection means that your SMP, your current SMP obviously will still be effective for quite a while, depending on what the issues are, if you do reject it. And like I said, it could go on for a long, long time in terms of when you would get an approved SMP, and if it gets to extreme cases, the State Department of Ecology does step in and what they write the SMP for the local community, which in a lot of cases is really just the SMP in front of you plus the changes. But it doesn't look like we're hopefully headed down that path at all.
And then I send you a clean copy with the changes, correct?
Yeah, but that could be after the final action letter. That doesn't delay the final approval. Yeah, and you said you already got that prepared anyway, so the consultant has prepared that.
Thank you.
May I ask John a question then? Since,
Oh, I can answer it.
yeah, but you're the one that has studied this and understands it.
Pardon?
You're the one that has studied this and understands it. Are you comfortable with the
Yes.
language in the SMP?
Yes, and our consultants. AHBL, we were comfortable with the changes.
Okay.
It just had to do with a little tweaking.
Yeah, the changes are fairly minor, with a lot of communities like Gold Bar. I've worked with other communities like in the Snoqualmie Valley, Carnation and North End. They had similar changes related to, referencing the Federal Emergency Management Agency maps that the city uses for their, floodplain management. Those are pretty common changes. And the other ones I would say are pretty minor, just kind of tightening them up a little bit. Nothing really that different than what we've been doing in other communities with similar standards. So, I mean, overall, the number's only 8, and I'd say the issues are minor compared to other communities I've dealt with.
Does anyone else have anything to discuss on this motion before the council? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
On to resolution 1401, which is the fee schedule. Pretty much a consolidation of all the fees that we've had. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, the fee schedule that you had previously hadn't been updated since 2010. Some fees have changed, some fees are found in ordinance, some fees are found in resolutions, and some fees were just found in policies, so it made sense to gather them all in one spot and update them all, so that's the resolution that you have here before you.
What about the other documents that you'd like to send?
There's, the biggest one that will be affected is the ordinance 657 that you have before you for first reading, and that is removing the violation fee out of the title and putting it in the fee resolution. The others were already in a fee resolution and just had to be updated.
Okay. My concern is, do we have the same fees written in 2 places?
Not at this point.
That was my concern.
Yes, and that was mine as well.
Good, thank you. This
Yeah.
resolves that.
This, right.
So this not only consolidates where fees are located, you did a fee update as well.
The land use ones that were related to SEPA, shoreline, those were updated. They were the ones with the biggest changes. All the others stayed the same. Animal licensing, business licensing, et cetera, all stayed the same.
Basically centralizing our fee schedules. Makes good sense. Can I get a motion to approve this resolution 1401 for fees centralized?
So moved.
I'll
Need a
second. I'll second.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to discuss this resolution? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion is carried. Ordinance 657.
So as I mentioned a minute ago, the biggest change, actually the only change in this title that you'll see is under the general penalties, where we're removing the $100 violation fee and adding the wording in place of that that says the fee is set by fee resolution. And that way, again, all the fees are consolidated into one spot rather than in ordinances.
I'll make a motion that we accept ordinance 657, general penalties introduction for first reading.
Second.
Does anyone wish to discuss this motion further? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We have the minutes of February 4th.
Do any final council comments?
Oh, can I get any final council comments or other business from council?
Yeah, I want to comment on the final council comments, is that I don't know that, that's been on the agenda before. We've never paid attention to it, but I don't know that we've ever called for those before, but I highly approve of giving us the opportunity for final comments at the end of the meeting, so I commend the fact that it's in the agenda.
Linda and I talked about that, during this past month, and one of the things that we've noticed happening during council meetings was at this point in a council meeting when we finish the new business, that there always seems to be last minute things coming up, and so we decided those last minute things shouldn't be coming up unless they're on the agenda. So this was the way we came up with to handle that. was
And
by-
it also gives us the opportunity to express concern for ideas for future meetings and new subjects to be put on the next agenda. So I like this approach.
That's really good.
And I have something I'd like to bring up,
Yes, sir.
computers.
I emailed him yesterday, and due to the weather fiasco we have had at UPS and FedEx, he's still waiting for them to actually get to him.
Oh.
So I am hoping next week that we will have them.
Cool.
But
It's
they
in
are
process, is
in
what you're
process.
saying.
They've been paid for, just a matter of getting them in our hands.
UPS has been real slow on account of all the weather back here.
Yeah, it's been really bad.
Yeah.
Twice and send them to the United States.
There's sleet or snow, right? Are there any other council comments or other business? Okay, we have the minutes of February 4th to be approved.
I'll make a motion that the minutes of February 4th be approved as written.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same,
Aye.
motion is carried. We have the voucher approval. The checks are from 20856 to 20880 for claims of $13,727.56, payroll of $2,500, for a total of $16,227.56. Is there a motion?
Are we getting a motion for the, all of them or just one? All of them?
Did you review them all?
I'll leave it up. to
Let's wait
finance
for the
committee.
discussion time to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Typically, when I review them, I make that motion, so I was waiting for you to make the motion.
No, I'll move that we accept the checks 20856 to 20880 for a total of $16,227.56, with the claims being $13,727.57 and the payroll being $2,556.
I'll second that
And the discussion is, the finance committee reviewed these at two different, I did it this morning and the rest of the group did it last Friday and found no irregularities.
All in favor then, approved,
motion. Aye.
Aye.
opposed?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, really.